Carl Jung and the Divine Within, the spiritual psychology of a genius. Have you ever been asked, do you believe in God? It's a simple question, but Carl Jung's answer wasn't simple. He paused, he smiled, and he said, I don't need to believe, I know. Carl Gustav Jung, Swiss psychiatrist, pioneer of the human soul, and one of the most profound thinkers of the 20th century, didn't just study the mind. He explored the unseen, the mystical, the sacred. Born in 1875 in Kessel, Switzerland, Jung was raised in a household where the Bible and philosophy were equally at home. His father was a pastor. His mind was a cathedral. This unusual blend of spirituality and scientific inquiry would become the foundation for what we now call analytical psychology, a revolutionary approach that forever changed how we understand ourselves. Unlike his contemporary Sigmund Freud, who focused on the repressed desires of the unconscious, often reducing them to sexual instincts, Jung saw the unconscious as something vaster, more mysterious, more sacred. He believed that deep within every human being lives an ancient library of symbols, dreams, and myths, a spiritual blueprint. He called it the collective unconscious. These weren't just metaphors. To Jung, they were real as your heartbeat, as real as your dreams. He introduced the world to archetypes, universal motifs that appear in mythologies, dreams, religions, and even your favorite movies. The hero, the shadow, the wise old man, the mother. Each archetype, Jung believed, lived inside of us, guiding our behavior, shaping our stories, and whispering truths our conscious minds have long forgotten. And here's what made Jung truly unique. He didn't separate psychology from spirituality. He merged them. He believed that true healing, true transformation, comes not just from logic or therapy, but from confronting your soul. Not just from medication, but from meditation. Not just from intellect, but from inner truth. You will see clearly, Jung once said, when you look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes. This wasn't poetry. It was a roadmap to becoming whole. Jung's greatest insight may have been this: the journey to psychological health is the same as the journey to spiritual awakening. The path to healing is the path to individuation, a term he coined to describe the lifelong process of integrating the conscious and unconscious parts of the self. Through dreams, symbols, religion, and art, Jung believed we can uncover hidden pieces of our psyche and reunite with our deepest essence. And by doing so, we don't just become balanced, we become spiritually alive. One of Jung's most fascinating concepts is the collective unconscious. Imagine, if you will, a vast ocean beneath your mind, a realm you didn't create, but one you inherited. A sacred inheritance of instincts, ancient stories, and images passed down through generations of human existence. Unlike the personal unconscious, which holds your forgotten memories and traumas, the collective unconscious is universal. It's the same in you as it is in me. It's not bound by culture or time, it's eternal. From this mysterious wellspring rise the archetypes. They are the language of the soul. They appear as gods and heroes in myths, as saviors and villains in scripture, and as recurring characters in the dramas of our everyday lives. Hercules, Buddha, Mary, Darth Vader, Harry Potter. These aren't just fictional characters. They are psychic realities, symbols encoded in the deepest layer of the human psyche. For example, the hero archetype isn't just a figure of bravery. It represents your personal battle, the inner war you fight every day to overcome fear, doubt, and weakness. The shadow isn't just darkness. It's the part of you you've rejected, ignored, or denied. But that still holds power. And the wise old man? He's the voice of timeless truth, the whisper that says, there is more. To Jung, the collective unconscious isn't just psychology. It's sacred. It's the thread that connects you to every human who's ever lived. It's the memory of the species, the fingerprint of the divine. He wrote, the collective unconscious contains the whole spiritual heritage of mankind's evolution, born anew in the brain structure of every individual. By connecting with it, through dreams, symbols, meditation, or inner reflection, we don't just learn who we are, we awaken to something higher, something greater, something eternal. Jung saw this as a bridge between the individual and the divine. He believed that many of the psychological disorders we see today are, in fact, spiritual crises in disguise. A society disconnected from myth, from meaning, from soul, becomes sick. And the only cure is depth. Chat. In his book, Modern Man in Search of a Soul, Jung explored how people suffering from anxiety or depression were often not just emotionally distressed, but spiritually lost. The path to healing wasn't about suppressing symptoms. It was about listening to them, interpreting their message, understanding the unconscious forces trying to break through the noise of daily life. Because your symptoms, they're signals, and your soul is speaking. Archetypes, the eternal symbols that live within us. For Jung, archetypes weren't just psychological blueprints. They were sacred echoes, timeless forms passed through centuries, cultures, and hearts. These ancient patterns live within us all, shaping our emotions, our dreams, and our very perception of the world. You don't need to study mythology to know the archetype of the hero. You feel it when you rise after falling, when you confront your fears, when you choose growth over comfort. You don't need to be religious to recognize the mother archetype. It's the warmth that nurtures, the protection that soothes, the source of life itself. Archetypes manifest in stories, but they also surface in dreams and even in moments of crisis. The shadow, one of Jung's most powerful archetypes, is the dark twin of your identity. It's the anger you suppress, the jealousy you deny, the wounds you hide. But Jung didn't believe the shadow was evil. He believed it was essential, because what you reject gains power, and what you face transforms you. The shadow holds not just your pain, but your hidden potential, your passion, your creativity, your strength. To ignore it is to live half a life. To confront it is to begin the path to wholeness. Jung believed that understanding these archetypes was not simply a mental exercise, it was a spiritual journey. The hero isn't just a character in epic tales, it's your soul's longing to evolve. The wise old man, he's the teacher you meet when you're finally ready to learn from within. Archetypes are not fiction. They are maps to your inner world. And when you follow them, you don't just find yourself, you find your place in something far greater. Individuation, the sacred path to wholeness. At the heart of Jung's entire philosophy is one profound idea: individuation. A word that sounds clinical, but in truth it is sacred. It means becoming who you really are, not just the version you show to the world, but the totality of your being, the light and the dark, the known and the mysterious, the strength and the softness. Individuation is the journey inward. It's a return to the soul. In modern life, we wear masks, we play roles, we become what the world expects us to be. But the unconscious is patient, and it waits. It speaks to us in dreams, in anxiety, in longing, and if we ignore it, in crisis. Jung taught that healing begins when we stop pretending. When we allow the unconscious to rise into awareness, when we face our fears, listen to our dreams, and integrate the shadow, we begin to reclaim the pieces of ourselves we once abandoned. Individuation isn't perfection, it's integration. It's not about becoming flawless, it's about becoming whole. It means walking through the fire of your contradictions, your flaws, your traumas, and coming out forged. Not someone else, not someone better, but someone true. This is why Jung saw individuation as a spiritual process, because to become whole is to become one with something eternal, with something divine. In his words, individuation is the process by which a person becomes the indivisible whole, the complete realization of their uniqueness. The end goal of individuation isn't to fit in, it's to stand in alignment with your true self, and in doing so, to find meaning, not outside yourself, but within. Spirituality and the soul of psychology. Carl Jung was not a theologian, but he was, in many ways, a modern mystic. While others dismissed religion as outdated superstition, Jung saw its symbols and rituals as containers of profound psychological truth. He wasn't interested in blind faith, he was interested in inner experience. And he believed that behind every religious story was a spiritual reality waiting to be lived. To Jung, religion wasn't about dogma, it was about depth. The cross, the mandala, the yin and yang, the serpent, the tree. These are not just artifacts of belief, they are archetypes, reflections of the soul's journey, reminders of the spiritual truths buried in the unconscious. Take, for instance, the story of Christ's crucifixion and resurrection. Jung saw this not just as a theological narrative, but as a universal symbol of psychological transformation, death and rebirth, ego and transcendence, despair and redemption. To Jung, the descent into darkness, the shadow, is what leads to light. And this, he believed, is the story all humans must live. The confrontation with pain, the surrender of the false self, the emergence of something holy from within. He called these profound moments encounters with the numinous, that mysterious, awe-inspiring presence that reveals something greater than ourselves. In those moments, we are no longer isolated egos. We are spiritual beings in communion with the cosmos. Jung's reverence for religious symbols extended far beyond Christianity. He explored Hinduism, Buddhism, Gnosticism, and alchemy, searching for the common thread that connects all traditions, the soul's journey toward wholeness. He believed that myths are not stories of the past. They are blueprints of the soul, maps that point inward. As he once said, the shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. And that is the essence of Jung's spirituality: personal, authentic, and transformative. Carl Jung's legacy, a call to inner revolution. Carl Jung's legacy cannot be confined to textbooks or lecture halls. His work is not just a chapter in psychological history. It's a living, breathing invitation. An invitation to look deeper, to ask harder questions, to awaken to the divine within. As the founder of analytical psychology, Jung didn't just give us new terms, he gave us new tools: archetypes, the shadow, the collective unconscious, individuation. These weren't abstract ideas, they were bridges between the known and the unknown, between mind and soul, between the human and the sacred. But Jung's impact extends far beyond the therapist's couch. Artists, writers, philosophers, spiritual seekers, they've all drawn from Jung's well of wisdom. His ideas have helped people navigate trauma, find meaning, face their darkness, and embrace their unique path. In an era of spiritual confusion, Jung offered clarity. In a time of disconnection, he offered integration. While much of modern psychology aims to restore functionality, Jung aimed for transformation. He believed the goal wasn't to be normal, it was to be whole. He taught that every symptom is a signal, every dream a message, every fear a teacher, and that if you follow the path inward, you will not only heal, you will evolve. Jung didn't just theorize about the soul, he honored it. He reminded us that the psyche isn't just a machine to be fixed, but a mystery to be explored, a sacred landscape, a living myth. He saw spiritual experience as essential to mental health, and he insisted that psychology must be more than science. It must be soul work. Today, in an age of fast answers and surface solutions, Jung's voice calls from the depths. Go inward, listen deeply, dream boldly, and above all, become whole. The journey begins with you. If there's one thing Jung left us with, it's this: the answers you seek are already within you. Your anxiety, your longing, your confusion, they are not signs of weakness. They are the voice of your soul trying to get your attention. Maybe you felt it, a quiet knowing, a pull towards something deeper, a longing that can't be explained. That's not a problem to fix. That's a call to explore, to awaken, to remember who you truly are. You are not just a product of your past. You are not just the mask you wear in the world. You are the dreamer and the dream, the seeker and the path, the question and the answer. Carl Jung's teachings invite you to begin that journey now, not tomorrow, not someday, but today, to follow the archetypes, to face your shadow, to listen to your dreams, to find the divine in the mirror, because to become yourself is the greatest adventure of all. And in doing so, you don't just change your life, you change the world. And now, if this journey spoke to your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to the channel Psychology of Happiness for more insights like this. Share your thoughts in the comments. What part of Jung's wisdom resonated most with you? And don't forget to like the video. It helps the message reach more seekers like you. Your path to wholeness begins with a single step, and that step might just be pressing play on your own soul. A final reflection: you are the mystery you've been searching for. You don't have to travel the world to find meaning. You don't have to master ancient texts or chase perfection. Everything you've been looking for is already inside of you. Carl Jung didn't promise easy answers. He invited us into the unknown, into the cave of the soul, into the sacred shadows where truth is born. He showed us that our fears are doorways, that our wounds are teachers, that our darkness is not our enemy, it's our unclaimed power. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not lost. You are on your way home. This is the truth. The self, the true self, is not a fantasy. It is the quiet flame behind your eyes. It is the stillness behind the noise. It is the divine spark waiting to be seen. You are the hero of your own myth. You are the seeker of your own soul, and you have everything you need to begin. So pause, breathe, listen. Let your dreams speak. Let your intuition guide you. Let your soul rise. Because the journey toward wholeness isn't about escaping who you are. It's about remembering who you've always been. You are sacred. You are shadow and light. You are human and divine. And the most important journey you will ever take is the one within. If this message stirred something in you, don't let it fade. Hit that subscribe button to join our community here at Psychology of Happiness. Tell us in the comments, what's one part of yourself you're ready to reclaim? And give this video a like if it opens something in your heart. Let's walk this path together, toward wholeness, toward truth, toward home. Because the more you awaken, the more the world does too.